Live.
Good morning. Good morning.
Stop, man. Stop.
I
Good
can't
morning,
help it.
people.
That song to me just symbolizes fake enthusiasm for the day.
It is.
Like
It's
you
exactly
can't ever.
what it is.
Let's
can't
start on a
live up-
positive note.
You can't live up to.
Let's cut right to the Pentagon for a press conference. Let's do something light and cheery.
All day yesterday here in Santa Monica, there were helicopters flying overhead because there's a crazed man running around with a gun.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Morning, Steve Park. Yeah.
See, that's when they need. Well, never mind.
I don't know what they. We
That's
need.
when they need sharks with lasers.
I need the ability to everyone that should
Jewish
not.
sharks with lasers.
Jewish sharks.
I need the ability that everyone that should not exist, that I just walk by and touch them on the shoulder.
I
Boom.
would support that because actually I would trust you with that for some odd reason.
So I don't know if Harry will join us. I assume he's partially halfway through driving back home.
Did he leave yesterday?
I think he left
Wednesday, yeah.
yesterday morning.
He's probably not even halfway home yet. I mean,
Well, yeah, he probably. Well, he did drive a 14-hour leg coming down.
Okay,
but I think you're wanting to get somewhere is greater than you're wanting to go back.
Yeah.
So he's probably taking his time, but he did take the faster route, I suppose. He drove so less stopping, but I assume he's on the road right now, probably just getting up to drive. But so we met Harry on Monday. I met Harry on Monday, and he met Delphina, and we hung out in Long Beach, which has several pretty okay record stores. So we went around to 3. One was closed. So we went to 3 stores and we had lunch, and it was a good time. And then on Tuesday, we hang out with Jim, and Vinyl Piper joined us.
And John Marino.
And John Marino, we met up at Safari, and we went to 3 stores. And Harry cleaned up. He bought a shitload of stuff, right? Mostly from Safari. He likes Safari. He found
it's a good store.
A gigantic stack of records.
It's a good store.
And you know what? You know, the great thing about Safari is months after, or weeks after, or months after Record Store Day, they don't carry Record Store Day, but they start having titles cheap. So I picked up this Mingus Record Store Day 3 LP they have for $40. I think it listed at 80. And this thing's awesome. This thing's really good.
It is good.
I'm very happy with how good this is. It's a good recording of a show. And the booklet's really good because he was dying. I think they said after one show he collapsed. They had to take him to the hospital. So that's good.
When he shortened his name from Mingus to just Mingus.
There you go, Maz.
There we go. Someone asked why I'm in the new location. I've done things here. I don't do live streams here because of the lighting usually. And I'm testing out the lighting because I'm going on Leo Laporte's twit tomorrow. And since before me, they're having a guy in who wrote a book some years ago on streaming and stuff. So it's going to go from streaming to vinyl. So I figured if I'm talking about vinyl on a tech show that doesn't usually, I need to show vinyl as a set piece.
So has he posted that this is happening?
Yeah, he has. In fact,
hold on, I'm going to try and share the link then.
Okay, well, I did a video yesterday, and in my video, within the description, has the link to the show. It's at 1 p.m., but if you're interested, go on about 12:45 because they want me to come up while the digital guy, the tech guy, is on to overlap a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be very nice.
Mazzy, he has several different show names. Which particular show are you on?
I'll do it. I'll put it in. All
right. I like Leo.
I've known Leo Laporte since around 1988. He's a good guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, go buy Record Store Day records because they're cheaper now. There's one. I want to get that Freddie Hubbard one too. So I hope they have it cheaper sometime soon. Yeah, so it was fun hanging out with Harry.
It was fun.
Harry's a good guy.
He is. He is a good dude.
Oh, I'll show some. Harry gave me. We exchanged some records. So he gave me this OG black jazz title, Cleveland Eaton, which is more like soul funk than the style of music this guy does on this album. I know he was a sideman, but this is an OG. They came out as quads, the black jazz titles. So it was cool that he traded me a record for this. I was very happy with that. Hey, if you're go to Amazon, they had this for $20 because I found an old pressing of the second part, volume 2. There's 2 parts to this. They put the first one as a tone poet. This is $20. It was when I bought it $20 on Amazon. So go pick that up if you want that. And then when I was with Harriet, I picked this up. You know, someone who comes around here dropped. I think this is one of their records. They exchange records with a Record Safari. So this is an OG stereo, Jimmy Smith Prayer Meeting, which is a tone poet.
I have that
New York label. Very cool. And you know what? Some people are saying, "Oh, the tone poets sound so much better than the OGs." I think they're different listening experiences.
Absolutely, the tone poets are more like the tapes, and the originals are like what they did at the time.
Yeah. By the way, this is 1970 of part 2, and this is a really good live session. So then I picked up a Dollar Brand record on Inner City from Enja. This is good. Dollar Brand. All right. No one cares about the shit I show here.
Want to see some good records?
No. I just show good records.
I don't have any.
My ring light is right there. I can't put it directly because of glasses.
You posted the link.
Yeah, it's there.
So
I'm on a one officially 12:45. It could be an hour. I don't know. He doesn't tend to always stick to time things, but it's about an hour from 1 to 2. But the guy before me, 12 to 1, wrote a book some years ago. He's a digital guy, but he wrote a book on digital music, free streaming, all that shit. So I think he wanted us to kind of do a yin yang thing. So I'm overlapping a little bit with him. So,
what the hell? Did you fall off a bench or something? What's this?
On Rob Abakapo Pajian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom shakalaka laka, boom shakalaka laka.
So this is the new Rolling Stones single. It comes out tomorrow. You can hear it now on streaming as of yesterday, because yesterday was Clifton Chenier, would have been his 100th birthday, the Zydeco King, and Rolling Stones cover, and it's all the Stones with some other people. Mick Jagger sings in Creole French this great song, Zydo Sa Passai. It's great. It's funky as hell. It's bombastic. It's really good. So check this out. It's going to be on a comp that I don't have of different people like Lucinda Williams and John Hyatt and a bunch of people doing Clifton Chenier things on Smithsonian Folkways.
So wait, they sent you the single?
I got the single. Single's a limited, and then it's going to be an album with all different artists, but that's the only Stone song on here.
So they're covering all that, or they're playing with?
Yeah, they're covering tunes by Clifton Chenier.
The king of the Zydeco.
Exactly.
So yesterday, I'm going to share the screen. Yesterday, the Jazz Bums did a video where they went over the releases. And okay, let me get rid of Mazzy. Yeah. The Jazz Bums went over. OJC announced 4 titles that these are the type of titles that I prefer that they reissue. and these are a pretty good selection of titles that they came up with. So the first one, I think these two of them come out at the end of August, the other two at the end of September. So this Wheeling and Dealing with Frank West, John Coltrane, Paul Quinici, Mal Waldron, Doug Watkins, and Art Taylor. Wheeling and Dealing. This record really hasn't been reissued much at all, and original copies of it go for $1 billion. This is a title that I want them to be releasing. The next one is this Kenny Burrell, self-titled. I think I have one. That's a good choice. Mazzy, I got an original OJC from Mazzy of this one, the Kenny Drew Trio, which is an excellent record. And then, most importantly, the Sonny's Dream, which I think back in the early times of starting this collecting and stuff, Notes and Tones praised this record. And I luckily somehow was able to find 3 different copies of it, but very, very tough record to find. And I think at the height of its demand was going for way over $100. And this is an excellent record. It's Horace Tapscott, if you don't know who he is, was like an LA underground avant-garde free jazz genius, I think. And he arranged and wrote a lot of the songs on this. So it's excellent record. Highly recommend. All 4 are great pickups. So that's what I want from these reissue labels. I want these records that are hard to get. I want the ones that, I mean, of course, they have to be good music, but I want them to, the hard to get records that originals go for. I think that Wheeling and Dealing is like over $300 easy if you find a really good copy. So
as soon as they reissue it, that OG will come down to $200.
You know what? In my experience, I don't know if that really happens much. I don't think the reissues damper the demand for an original copy of a record. I don't.
It depends if they want it for collecting purposes or the music. It depends.
Well,
yeah, I think you're right.
I'm maybe because I'm older and I'm selling off certain originals. If the original's worth a lot and there's a really good reissue, I will take the money and sell the original and keep the other one. So,
hey, Bill. So Bill has a good question. So Bill, I think it's the same for rock records. Like the story I like to tell is that a record store owner told me that a reason a lot of Capitol, like Psych records, are worth so much and they're rare is because Capitol didn't hole punch and do cutouts. They destroyed the records. So I think in the case of these prestige jazz titles that originally came out as like Blue Trident label ones in the late 60s, Blue Note, listen, I'm a novice. This is my take on it. What I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Blue Note and Prestige were reissuing these records throughout the 60s if they came out in the late 50s and early 60s, right? The ones that came out in the late 60s, whatever amount they pressed, there weren't a lot of reissues of them. And I feels like right in the early 70s, I don't know when Prestige was technically sold to Fantasy, but right in the early 70s, they just stopped.
About 73, 72, 73.
Right. So when they were sold, they stopped doing reissues of them. So there weren't a lot of pressings of this record where you could go to an early 60s Prestige title that they would originally put out as a Prestige and then reissue as a new jazz title and then with a different title. So there were several reissues throughout the 60s until the early 70s. Not until they decided to do the OJCs in the early 80s did they start reissuing some of these titles again. But the Wheeling and Dealing really wasn't an OJC. I don't think the Sonny's Dream, that was not an OJC. It was an OJC on CD. So that's my take from being a collector and stuff like that.
Things we didn't even talk about reissues in it. Things just stayed in print if they were modestly saleable. They would stay in print. Every once in a while, a label would, not every once in a while, every year, certain titles would be deleted.
I don't know about jazz though, Mazzy.
No, jazz. No, certain things would be deleted from the catalogs. Some things would be changed out. Obviously, as you know, you're good at the twofers in the 70s. Jazz wasn't big to the rock crowd really in the 70s. So that's why all those labels like Verve and Blue Note.
But let's look at
but put out the twofers. That's why they did the twofers to sell that.
No, I understand. But let's look at today. I mean, like people like Vinyl Piper that are heavy into Psych, right? When those Psych records came out originally, were they big sellers? I don't know. I don't think so.
They weren't.
They weren't. So therefore, when people discover that genre, they're in demand. But there weren't a lot of copies of those originally.
Right.
Yeah, I understand, but a lot of those Capitol titles, that's 40 years ago. I'm talking about early 70s.
Okay, this is a Capitol with a hole punch, but the reason it's a hole, but this is not a cutout. This is a promo. This is how Capitol. Not all their promos said promos. This is not a stamp promo. This is the first Klaatu record with a press kit. It's got the press kit in it. From the Klaatu, all the little newspaper articles like, is this the Beatles? All that crap, which is obviously not. But they would do that. Another record, let's see, Matt.
Was Tommy James Psych?
Pop Psych.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he did that illegally, Fluffy.
Who?
I don't think he had permission to stream from Amoeba. You have to request and get permission.
This was sort of a semi-popular Capitol bluesy psychedelic thing. This is Mad River. This actually kind of sold. So they didn't destroy them. This is not an expensive record, but it's probably a $40 to $50 record depending. Great cover.
I've noticed through when I become aware of Psych and I go out digging, there's a lot of Psych that's like $10. There's a lot of Psych stuff that's like $10.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was in demand and stuff like that. Vanilla Fudge Psych?
They're heavy Psych. Yeah. I mean, I would say
but they covered a hugely popular song, and then that song was a hit, right?
Almost all their hits were covers. They did Ticket to Ride. They did,
but their big song was
Keep Me Hanging On. Keep Me Hanging On. Yeah, but they did it in that kind of long, proggy, organ drenched, In-A-Gadda DeVito is a big Psych album.
Well, aren't they? Hold on, not Fluffy. I'm sorry. Things change. He's asking the Lemon Pipers would count as Psych.
They're pop Psych. They're pop Psych. Yeah.
Well, okay. So this is a subject for another conversation, I think.
But they were
when a band becomes mainstream, are they the part of the genre, or are they pop? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean there's no answer. I mean, there's no wrong answer to that.
Well, really. because they become popular and their music is plentiful and stuff like that.
Here's a question. What are my thoughts on record labels putting out music videos of old songs from 60s, 70s? I think it's a great idea because you go a lot of when I did this chat with my son, he says he listens to music through YouTube mostly. I mean, he has streaming, but he doesn't really stream music a lot through YouTube. And it's great too if you can have a video counterpoint. Like sometimes it has nothing to do with the band, an animation or something. So yeah, Heuristic Pillow was huge when it came out. That album broke big. That opened up the whole floodgates and for all the labels to come to San Francisco. Obviously, they had in '66 they had their takes off, and bands started. I mean, labels started coming because that whole sound. But when Surrealistic Pillow, in early what year, what month was that? It was the spring probably of '67, and that because of White Rabbit and Somebody to Love on the hit the charts, the top charts, and all these other bands. Columbia came and signed Moby Grape, not all right away, but Moby Grape and Big Brother and the Holding Company. They took them away from mainstream. Capitol ended up signing Steve Miller Band and Quicksilver Messenger Service and Mad River, who had come to San Francisco from somewhere else. RCA obviously had.
But Steve Miller Band was like blues rock. He wasn't like Psych.
Well, first they were the Steve Miller Blues Band, but their first album is psychedelic. Children of the Future, that is a psychedelic record. There's blues parts to it, definitely, but they dropped the blues name. That's when Boz Scaggs was in the band with them.
You know, I don't watch a lot of Noble Records videos, but sometimes I'll watch one. Yesterday or the day before, he posted a video about like 5 affordable rock records that he finds. One that I did samplings of each one of them, and most of them were not for me. But the one was Gail McCormick, and you know, I don't know if Dylan will say he knows everything about everything, and I think I've seen him say that. Like he doesn't know, like jazz. He knows a lot, but not everything.
Learned a lot, definitely.
Yeah. But it's surprising to me when he recommended the Gail McCormick record, he didn't say that she's the lead singer of Smith, and that band had a huge hit, right?
Yeah.
And then she kind of faded away. I think she burned out very quickly. So I listened to that Gail McCormick record, and that record's good.
Yeah.
I think she put out 3 solo records.
I think Rob Walker has like a double personality.
I think Rob Walker is a narcoleptic.
Yeah. But every label, I'm going back to San Francisco, like Vanguard came and signed Country Joe and the Fish. Fantasy was local. They obviously signed Creedence Clearwater. They were the only local label out of Berkeley. Yeah, so everyone, and not all the records, were big hits or anything, but it seemed like, living in a place like San Francisco, it seemed like those records were bigger than they were. Like, to me, Country Joe and the Fish was massive, but obviously in the whole scheme of things, culturally, probably East Coast. Yeah, Paul Butterfield Band was big in San Francisco because they're psychedelic Eastern thing, and they would play the Fillmore and the Avalon all the time. So they'd be one of the bands that were constantly coming through San Francisco.
Hey,
so they were very big here.
The 13th Floor Elevators had a hit song. Am I wrong about that?
They had an AM song, "You're Gonna Miss Me." Yes.
Yeah. There's one thing. So Harry, wherever you are, Harry's commenting. Are you driving right now, Harry? Or are you?
It's not driving.
Yeah, but I don't know. But Harry, is there one record you found in LA that you were surprised to find? I know he I think did he show something somewhere? I don't know. Did you find what big record did you find here in LA? What are you doing? Someone's playing something.
That's Jim, not me.
Oh, it's his phone. Okay, Jim's talking to his bookie. He's got a bet on tonight's games. So it's interesting. I started, I'm branching out for what I dig for to see if I can find records that people want, but a classical. So I picked up a ton of classical this past week. So
I don't have that Vinyl Piper. I don't have that. Let me look at the cover. Let me look at. No.
We're at the printer.
Oh, tomorrow. Are you gonna have papers this week?
I might have papers on Saturday.
I remember seeing that. But I don't have it.
Hey, tonight, Jim and I are going. Joe Harley's doing a in-store appearance at a record store in LA.
Called
store?
Run
What
Out
store?
Crew.
Run it, yeah, but you had to get wristbands to attend because they only can fit like a small amount of people in the store. So hopefully, I'll get to meet Joe Harley tonight in person.
Cool little record store in Burbank.
Yeah,
Yeah, Run Out Groove.
and I
Sure
want
they're
to.
out.
I think I want to promote tonight. I think I'm going to be on Grant's warehouse, Rock Warehouse.
Right.
Are you talking about the best prog band of jazz?
Could you tell us how Roger McGuinn's jangly guitar influenced prog?
I'm gonna do a in a couple of weeks when I have the time. I'm gonna do a big all the bands the Byrds influenced.
Joe Harley is the guy who created the Tone Poets, man. Come on.
Who doesn't know that here?
Ricks.
Oh, so yeah. Someone asked, what about the Joni Mitchell jazz box?
She has a jazz box.
It was announced
Is that what
yesterday.
she calls it?
It's a box set of all her jazz influence, even from her early folky stuff where she did kind of jazzy arrangements and then stuff with all the stuff with Wayne Shorter and Herbie Hancock and Jocko. And it's like a 6 or 8 LP box and CD. So it's
Joe Harley is not a mastering engineer. He's a producer.
Well, Rick's, we know that, but usually people who watch the Jazz Bums or any of us know who vinyl community people, a lot of them know who Joe Harley is. But maybe not everyone does, you know.
He
started Music Matters Jazz.
No, even before there, I think Audio Quest.
Yeah, Audio Quest.
I assume he's been in the music industry for over 40 years. So,
Rob, electronic reissues. What are electronic the band? I'm not sure what that means.
I think he means electronica. Do you mean electronica?
Of what? Of what?
Hey, can I show something I picked up over the weekend? Did I show it on Tuesday? I don't think I did. Maybe I did.
I do have some Ralph McTell albums. Yeah.
I picked this up over the weekend, and this originally came out in the early 60s on Savoy, and an original of this is a lot of money. This is I think a second pressing that came out in either the late 60s or very early 70s using the same metalwork. But this record sounds amazing. This Curtis Fuller Sextet. And this isn't a cheap record either. Sometimes I'll spend money. But this thing sounds amazing. Sounds really good. McCoy Tyner on there. I'm very happy with this pickup. And it was not cheap. Not cheap.
Someone asked about Tangerine Dream. I got a promo this when it came out. This is Rubicon.
What year did that come out?
Probably 75. Yeah, 75. So I got a promo this when it came out. I have the Sorcerer. I have Phaedra. No, Cyclone.
I think the thing about Tangerine Dream, more than once, they were brought in to rescore a movie. I think that happened a bunch of times. I know the movie Legend, the Ridley Scott movie with Tom Cruise, which I love that movie.
And Risky Business, they did.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times they brought in Tangerine Dream to rescore films, and they got rid of the original.
I didn't know that. I think I don't have. I thought I had Phaedra, maybe on CD. I used to have Phaedra.
They're not still around, are they? They're still around. Tangerine Dream.
I don't know if they're all alive, but they're probably. Everybody's around doing something. You know, it's a.
If they're two guys, like something came up on my stream thing. Of the Rascals, and two of them are touring as the Rascals. Two of the original members.
Is it Felix Cavallari?
And the guitar player.
It is Felix. It's got to be Felix because he's the voice.
Yeah, Felix. And The only one of them passed away. The drummer passed away. The other 3 of them are still around.
Now this is a great comp. This was this Rhino. This was a real gone comp. This is massive. This is a 3 LP or 4 LP.
I got to be careful mentioning band names, man. As he's in his record den, he'll pull out.
Exactly. These are the complete single. This is this is 8 LPs of all their A and B side singles and real gone.
But they broke up in the early 70s.
Yeah, which is too bad.
They got back together for 1 year because of the Atlantic 40th.
They played in New York.
They played a show, and then most of them got back together, I think, in the 2000s.
Now, for a jazz fan, this is the one. This is a jazzy record. This is kind of a lot of long solos. Who's on here? Some jazz folks that you'll know. Let's see. You got Joe Farrell's on here, Ernie Wolking, Joe Newman, Ernie Royal. Let's see. But it's got a very jazz. Alice Coltrane is on here.
I think he was in
Ron Carter, Hubert Laws.
He was in the very early version of that Pearl Jam band you like.
Yeah, but it's got Hubert Laws also, and Ron Carter.
Well, wasn't there a couple Rascals records where basically it was just Felix?
I think after this.
I think there was like a couple.
This is not an expensive record, but I would pick it up if you kind of like something a little more exotic, I guess. It's not the pop soul. It's not the R&B soul stuff, pop stuff they were doing, but it's a great record.
Hey, I also keep switching back and forth. I found this too. This came out as a tone poet, but this is an OG mono of this Babyface Willette record. It's not in the best condition, but even in the condition it's in, it sounds pretty damn good. It's cool when you find these monos in that block. There's nothing. Usually when it's stereo, it says stereo. That's for all the stupid people out there.
With hype sticker, this is an original mono. This album's better in stereo.
That's one you see all the time.
Yeah, but the stereo one's the better one. The mono mix is not great, but it has Groovin'. I mean, it's one of the greatest singles of that summer was Groovin', summer singles. But every track on this is killer. This is almost like a greatest hits record. His version of the Stevie Wonder song. Stevie Wonder didn't write it, but A Place in the Sun that Stevie Wonder had a hit on in the late, 69, I guess. Great record. Yeah, it is dangerous being in my record room because I can just pull things.
Yeah. This is not whack-a-mole because he's looking.
I am looking. This is not a whack-a-mole.
Yes. If one cool thing to watch is Steven Van Zandt speaking when they bring the Rascals in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a good speech he gave. It's pretty good.
I mean, they're one of the great American bands, but they burned bright for 66, 67, 68, and then after that, they had a 3-year run. I mean, they were around, but 3 years they had a ton of hits, and then I don't know. It's interesting when bands sort of implode like that. Like the Lovin' Spoonful is a good example. Great stuff, and then not.
Yeah, but wasn't the Lovin' Spoonful really just John Sebastian? It was really just
Zalyanowski. No, not at all. Not at all.
What were they had one big hit, right? Do You Believe in Magic? What was their other hit song?
Daydream. Do You Believe in Magic? Younger girl keeps her flow.
Yeah, but weren't they all written by John Sebastian?
Yeah, but that's a lot of songwriters. The singers write a lot of the songs. That's pretty typical.
Yeah, but I mean if they go away,
the Rolling Stones is only Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. Who needs the rest? I mean, you could.
Right.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Or who needs Ringo? No comment.
I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure he said that, But
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know if I
Nashville,
would
yeah.
call the I don't know if I would call the Rascals quintessential New York.
Oh, they're very East Coast,
No,
definitely.
they're from New Jersey, but I
Jersey.
don't know. I don't get the feeling that any of their songs were regionally.
No, but they're part of that R&B stuff that was happening there more than on the West Coast. The R&B stuff, I mean, you can totally see that lineage between the Young Rascals and Little Stevie and Bruce Springsteen. Actually, it had that kind of R&B rock and roll thing, more than the psychedelic, flowery stuff of the Bay Area and even LA with Buffalo Springfield and Love
I
and
mean,
those
come on,
bands.
the Little Rascals had flowery tinge
Yeah, well,
songs.
of course they did on that album with Groovin'. Oh, absolutely. I mean, everyone jumped on the psychedelic bandwagon at least for a minute, some more than others.
I don't agree with this at all. I'm not
Um,
I'm not a Love and Spoonful guy.
I love the Love and let's see.
Now he's
I
gonna
love
pull out
having,
Love and
I love
Spoonful.
having a chair on wheels. This is
Can
great.
someone mention like hip hop? Because I know none of that's on that wall of records.
You're right. You're right.
I think that Rascals Greatest Hits one is a record everyone should own.
Okay. We got hype sticker. We got Summer in the City. That's one of the biggest hits of '66. Hot Summer in the City, Rain on the Roof. Great record. You're a Big Boy Now soundtrack. Isn't this Coppola? Yeah, Coppola directed this movie.
There's a Love and Spoonful movie?
No, but it's a movie that they did the music to that Coppola directed. Might have been his first movie. You're a Big Boy Now. Hums. I got so many copies of some of this shit. Do you believe in magic? Daydream. And these are all produced by Eric Jacobson, who would later go on to produce Chris Isaac. So, good stuff. But they had it's funny because their singles are so different than the rest of the music on the album. They had a real folksy jug band thing going with pop singles mixed in. So I think the albums didn't catch on as much to the teen kids who were buying the 45s. Because the singles are so different than the rest of the music.
Who had more hits? Love and Spoonful or the Rascals?
Probably the Love and Spoonful.
You think so?
Yeah. But the Young Rascals had a bunch of hits. I think the Love and Spoonful had more hits, but again, for a short time, 66, 7, and 8. And then these bands didn't evolve for some reason. The Love and Spoonful never made a great total album, I think, as much as and Groovin', I guess, was a great total album for the Rascals, but they didn't get when the Beatles and all these bands were making great albums. The Love and Spoonful seemed to give up, and then Woodstock came around. I think that's when Sebastian had his first solo album, and and he got fucked up a little bit too because Reprise put the album out, but so did MGM put the exact same album out with different covers. So there's that first John B. Sebastian came out from two labels, so he got fucked with promotion.
Why did it come out from two labels?
Because MGM says he owed us records from the Love and Spoonful years, and there was some contractual. I don't know all the details what happened, and so they put it out. Meanwhile, he had a new label, and they put it out different covers, and I don't remember exactly all the details there. I used to know the story. Yeah.
Vinyl Piper. I like Joe versus Volcano, but that was a big flop of a film.
That's John Patrick Shanley, the playwright.
Right. But that was a big flop of a movie. Doesn't matter what song was in it.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good movie.
I like it too, actually.
Well, Chuck T, I can't understand. You're old, right, Chuck T? Rix, it'd be good to know who Joe Harley is before you make jokes about Joe Harley, okay? What? Old Man River, such a great version. Is there a great version of that song?
Yes. Well, that's from what's the musical?
Porgy and Bess?
Yeah. You got it. So you know your shit.
The movie that he met his wife on is Volunteers.
Terrible
Which is
movie.
not the greatest movie.
Pretty bad.
But it has John Candy in it. So
Yeah, I didn't like that movie. Paul Robeson did a great,
didn't he originally record that?
I think he did the original Porgy and Bess, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
I
talk
don't know,
about a baritone.
I don't know.
Ray Charles' version's great too. Yeah. Oh, I'm into the Grateful Dead. Yeah. Meg Ryan.
In the movie, Meg Ryan, I believe, plays 4 different characters in the film. Maybe definitely 3. So, but I think 4. But probably 3. Who else? There's someone else who's really good in that movie.
In which one?
Joe versus Volcano.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's look. Let's see. Joe versus the Volcano.
I think that's a good movie.
Lloyd Bridges. Robert Stack. Amanda Plummer. Ozzie Davis. Abe Vigoda. Nathan Lane. Carol Kane. Dan Hedaya. And a bunch of other people.
Well, I don't.
Okay, how is this? There are 3 actors in that movie, all with the name Vladimir.
In what? Joe versus the Volcano?
Yes. There's Vladimir Eromin, Vladimir Verapontov, and Vladimir Kryzhkov. Is there a Russian section? Oh, there's a bunch of Russian parts. There must have been I don't remember the movie very well. It was pretty surreal. It was kind of a psychedelic movie in a way, as I recall.
So if anyone's free tonight, I'm going to be on Grant's Rock Warehouse at, I think, 5 Pacific.
I think you're going to see Joe Harley. Is that not tonight?
That's at 7. So I'm going to do it from Jim's place. Well,
you're double booked. Wow, you're popular. You're like kind of going on the Tonight Show and then over to Colbert in the same night.
Let me see if I can pull up Grant's and share the link. Grant's, so I can tell you what we're doing. Okay. If he put up the threads, Rock Warehouse.
I think Joe's Volcano is better than Volunteers only because it's kind of surreal and it makes it more interesting.
I think Volunteers, I forget who wrote and directed it, but Volunteers
is nothing special.
Tried to be well, he hasn't put up the link to the stream yet. So go to Grant's Rock Warehouse tonight. I'll share the link to his channel. Go to his thing tonight at 5 Pacific. I'm going to be on there. We have a cool concept. I pitched him a concept that I thought would work best on his channel, and he thought it was a good idea. So we're going to do it tonight at 5.
Oh, Nicholas Meyer directed, who did 2 of the Star Trek films and 7%.
Okay, so Nicholas, he also wrote books. So he's a very cerebral kind of guy.
Time, the Day After. He did yeah.
I don't know how many comedies Nicholas Myers did, but I think it just didn't work for him.
Yeah, I agree. I remember seeing it like just kind of like it was nothing.
I mean, it played a lot on HBO.
It's
in
kind
the
of like, what was that movie with Robin Williams, like the coconut movie in Hawaii or something?
No, see, that's different. That was a good movie. That was Harold Ramis. That movie flopped at the box office, but it's a good movie.
What was it called?
Club Paradise. Club Paradise.
Right. I didn't like it. Yeah.
That's a good movie. A lot of SCTV people are in it.
Yeah.
It's him and Jimmy Cliff. I think that's a good movie.
That's right, Jimmy. Yeah.
But it was Harold Ramis, so it was a comedy director.
Okay.
Nicholas Meyer making a comedy, it just didn't work.
Okay. That's like Nicholas Rogue making a comedy, the director. That wouldn't work.
Some people might think some of his films are dark comedies.
We did the movie. What is the movie with Marilyn Monroe and Einstein?
Yeah, that was based on a play, I think.
Yeah, that's a good movie, actually, I think.
Joe versus John Patrick Shanley was a playwright. He wrote Moonstruck. That's a comedy, right?
Yeah. He wrote, and also didn't he write he wrote the one with the couple, something and the Claire de Lune. I used to read all those plays.
Yeah, Frankie and
when
Johnny.
I was studying acting with Leo Laporte.
Yeah, but the Frankie and Johnny was a play.
Yeah, Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune. That was the full name.
It was
of the play.
But it was more a serious play.
Yeah.
But Gary Marshall made a movie of it, and it's a Gary Marshall movie. It has not a lot to do with the play, even though
it's not a good.
But the one that Gary Marshall made, I think is a really good movie. So, yes, Barry, I've seen The Seven Samurai, and I was going to say Akira Kurosawa. He did one kind of comedy, right? He did a movie that has humor in it, or some of them they have humor in it, but the one about the shoe salesman people, right?
Leland, I went to see Mission Impossible a few weeks ago. I loved it, but it's over the top. It's so much. It's bombastic, but I enjoyed it.
I have not seen 28 Years Later. I did see Mission Impossible, and I liked it, and it was better than the last one. I felt the last one
together. They work together.
I understand, but I feel this one works as a singular movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, but it's over the top. I'm going to see 28 Years Later Saturday.
Neither of them are as good as the one before that. The one that had with Henry Cavill that had the helicopter scene at the end, that one's really good. Yeah, but that's kind of a comedy, isn't it? Jeff E. The best story is Akira Kurosawa suing Sergio Leone to get a chunk of the profits from
F1 is going to be a really interesting thing in terms of movie, because Apple put so much money into it and the whole sponsorship, and they basically did inventing the framework of iPhone cameras that are custom modified and including all these cars.
Yeah, but Danny Boyle used iPhone cameras to shoot 28 days later.
No, but this is a whole different thing, because
28 years later, he had a contraption where he had like 20 iPhones.
Yeah,
to shoot it.
But Apple can afford. They don't have to make money on movies. That's the thing about Apple.
Well, no, everything that Apple does is to sell hardware, and as being in the know. And I have a friend who works at Apple. If Apple tomorrow wanted to buy every single movie studio, they could. They have that much money. They could buy every single movie studio.
28 days later.
If they really cared what Amazon did. Yeah. Amazon bought MGM because it was the largest film library in the world. They bought it to get that library. So Amazon is really serious about making movies, or Jeff Bezos. They own James Bond now, and the word this morning I heard is
Denise.
He's directing the Bond.
Is going to direct the next James Bond movie.
They haven't cast the guy yet.
As long as he doesn't include any shots of sand in the James Bond movie, he'll be fine.
Well, here's the problem. What was the one-off one? The guy who did True Detective, he made a good James Bond movie. That guy.
I like the guy that did the playwright, the guy who's doing the 4 Beatle movies.
Yeah, he wasn't a playwright. He was a play director who went into
but
movies.
he's a writer too.
Yeah, but by the
playwright too.
No, but by the time he made the he made I think 2 or 3. By the time he made the James Bond movies, he had directed a ton of films.
Yeah, he made the Tom Hanks graphic novel one.
Right, but that movie he made about World War One. That movie's awesome.
Yeah, that was after
1917.
That was after James Bond. Yeah, he was married to Kate Winslet for a while.
Yes. You know what? Why don't we give you a title? Monitor of the VC live streams. That's who Dane is. That's who I'm referring to you as. Getting back to it, I dealt with what's his name? That director. He on Road to Perdition. I tested Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition's a good movie. I like.
He was very nice. That dude was very nice.
He's a gentleman. He's writing and directing these 4 Beatle films. That's why, as stupid as they sound, if anyone can do it, he could do it because he's a smart writer and a good director. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what he comes up with. All these people just say, "Oh, it's going to be shitty." I mean, come on, give any artist a break. It seems on the surface not a good idea, but if anyone can do it, I might bet it on him. I think Liam Neeson's going to be great.
Okay, the word I heard from a friend who was at a screening is it's good. The Naked Gun movie is good. That's what I heard from someone I trust. So that's all I can tell you.
Anyway, before 28 days later, the first of the Danny Boyle zombie films, to me, is one of the all-time best zombie films because in my memory, it's the first time we saw, and I could be wrong, zombies run the fuck after you. It was always like this.
Well, I heard the 28 years later is it's not polarizing, but I heard either you'll like it or you won't, because there is a shift in the storytelling during the film. So that's all I could say. I'm here to say this. I'm an anti-zombie movie guy. No zombies for me. In fact, if I want to see zombies, I'll go outside and walk around the street and see zombies, homeless people.
Yeah, but Shaun of the Dead is great.
No, well, again, there's one zombie movie that I love. The rest are whatever.
Which is the one you love?
Day of the Dead.
Oh, is that the one in the shopping mall?
Romero. It's the 3rd movie he made.
Is that in the shopping mall or no?
No, the second one.
I don't know which one's which.
What the second one he made is an excellent movie in the shopping mall, but the Day of the Dead is awesome, and it's the grossest movie ever. That's the one he made. It's sort of, I don't know, but the one in the mall is Dawn of the Dead. Day of the Dead is the one he made. Was it in the 80s?
I can't.
That movie's good. That movie is the grossest movie ever, and it's awesome. Yeah. George Romero, listen, that's one guy people just don't talk about.
George Romero?
George Romero. Come on. Did you like the movie Martin about the teenage vampire?
I don't remember it, but I've seen it. I don't remember it now. That
came out I'm going to tell you my Martin story. My parents had divorced, and we would see my dad on the weekends, and my dad would go, "We're going to the movies." And he took us to see Rabbit Test. Do you remember that movie, Mazzy? Rabbit Test?
No.
That is the movie, I believe the one and only movie that Joan Rivers wrote and directed. And she did it, I'm sure she was friends with Mel Brooks. And she probably said to herself, I'm going to make a Mel Brooks movie, because she used all Mel Brooks people in it. And it starred Billy Crystal, his first starring role in a movie, as the first pregnant man.
Oh, I remember here. I never saw it. I remember hearing about it.
my dad took us to see it, and it was so bad. And I went out to go to the bathroom, and it was at a twoplex, and I peek in the next theater, which was showing Martin, the George Romero Martin, and there was a woman's boob on the screen when I walked in. I go, and I don't know when did that come out? I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and I go, that's a boobie. And then I went back into the theater because there's the scene where Martin or a vampire bites the woman on her boob. That's what I saw. And then the next day, my dad was so upset that he took us to see a bad movie. He goes, "Get in the car, we're going." So we didn't know where we were going. He goes, "Get in the car." And he took us to see Star Wars to make up for the fact that he took us to see a bad movie.
I saw the Jim Jarmusch zombie film in a theater when it came out, and I was so fucking disappointed with it. Now,
Yeah,
I need to watch it again.
But that was a comedy.
I know, but some people like it. I just thought it was terrible. All the greatest people in, from Iggy Pop to Bill Murray to Adam Driver to, a great cast. And I just thought it was a piece of shit. It wasn't funny. For a comedy, it wasn't funny.
Barry, what is the nickname for the Italian horror movies? They have a name. I do like them. They're good, but I prefer spaghetti westerns.
They're too gross for me, or gruesome.
Yeah, but they have the very kind of disco-y soundtrack. I even forget the name of the type of music it was. Yeah, there you go, Barry. So the Italian horror movie. But here's the funny thing about the Italian horror movies. What's the main director? The biggest director, Dano, who made Suspiria. A lot of those were tax shelter situations. That's how they were made.
For mafioso?
Yeah, mafia. Like, what was there was a
Argento,
I don't know if it was Germany or Italy, where they had a tax law that made the set of a movie a sovereign state or something. So it created.
That's why Fellini had a good life.
So they would direct these Italian horror movies, and the mafia would drop off all the stolen products, and it had to be on the set of the film. These are stories I've heard.
You're in the know. You're the know.
Rick's Texas Chainsaw, because all the horror in the film is in your head. They don't show it on screen.
I can't watch setting up things.
Hold on. One of the best conversations I ever had with a director was with Tobe Hooper. So Tobe Hooper called me on the phone, and I was at a meeting where we were going over the results of a shitty movie he directed. I think it was the last film he directed for what's the Middle Eastern country that wants to be like the West so much?
Washington D.C.
What? I don't know. But they made Dijon. They made a Arabic horror film that's just horrible. He did it. And he's instructing me on how to talk to the producers on the phone. Dubai. Yes.
The best one of my favorite Tobe Hooper movies I saw in the theater, didn't know anything about it, and was stunned how bizarre and wonderful and naked it was, is Life Force. When the woman vampire zombie's walking and her breasts are not even moving and she's walking fully naked.
Yeah, hot.
And she's sucking the life force out of everybody. Patrick Stewart.
I saw that on Glen Oaks, and I saw that at the corner of Glen Oaks and Sunland yesterday.
Patrick Stewart before Star Trek. Yeah.
You saw someone sucking the life force out of someone?
Walking with the breasts out.
Exactly. Life Force is better than it has.
Life Force. Okay, but what about Invaders from Mars? That's a good movie. Cannon made about 5 or 10 good movies. Invaders from Mars was good. I have the soundtrack over here somewhere. Chauncey.
Life Force.
Everyone
should see Life Force because isn't it your guy from the Stuntman in it?
Yes. Steve, what's his face?
Roback.
But hey, Chauncey, my cousin interned for Wes Craven and said how nice of a guy he was. I've never met Wes Craven.
Yeah, it was on Cinemax all the time. I'm looking so forward to see Sinners. I haven't seen it yet. It's coming on free on HBO like in a week or something.
So anyone who's made a movie where Spielberg's the producer, he sticks his hand in it. In fact, the Jurassic Park movie, which is getting good reviews, the Garth Edwards who directed it, I just watched him interviewed where he says he did all the pre-stuff with Spielberg. Like Spielberg instructed him about doing the movie, and then when he said I direct the movie, he left me alone. But Spielberg sticks his hands in everything. Okay, Barry, you're correct. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 that Cannon did is my favorite. That movie is awesome. There's a car chase, and it's Tobe Hooper. There's a car chase scene in that film that is excellent. And he directed that movie with a lot of humor. That movie is good.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Cove Theater, Hermosa Beach. There's a screen, and on either side of the screen is a door leading to the outside, emergency exit. They're showing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Middle of the movie, those doors burst open. Light comes into the theater, and two guys with chainsaws go running up and down the aisles.
Rob was just his first day in Hollywood.
What are you talking about?
A friend of mine from Scotland, he landed in California. He'd been here about a week, and he went to the Cove Theater to watch Texas Chainsaw, and they had guys running up and down the aisles with chainsaws.
I forget exactly the plot point, but Dennis Hopper stars in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's one of his best performances. He's way over the top, like he was in Blue Velvet. But I think he plays like a sheriff guy whose family member was killed by the chili making clan. And the best line in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, you dented my metal plate, Leatherface.
Are you going to host a live stream when they announce the verdict for the Puffy Combs trial?
Okay, Mazzy. Horrible attempt at humor, but when do I talk about shit like that?
Well, I just thought it's music related, and you're all about the music.
Yeah, I'm all about the music. I'm all about all the sexual.
Oh, come on! I mean, everyone. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff like this. Live streams are the thing, right? For you guys, me too.
Anyone who's not seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, fucking awesome.
Okay. American Friend. Okay. The Ripley books, Patricia Highsmith wrote The Talented Mr. Ripley, and she was a lesbian and wrote these books. There's a lot of homoerotic stuff in the books. There's 5 or 6 books. I've read them all. The first story of The Talented Mr. Ripley was a 1960 French movie with Alain Delon, and I'm just blanking on the name. Alain Delon was the first Tom Ripley. Of course, later in the 70s, late 70s, Bruno Ganz, who did all the Hitler memes, the German, Swiss actually actor, and Dennis Hopper is in the. Takes place in Hamburg.
I thought Bruno Ganz was German.
No, he plays German, but I think he's originally Swiss. I mean, I think that someone will correct me, but I think he's Swiss. I'm a big fan of Bruno Ganz because he's in Wim Wenders and Wings of Desire and all that stuff. So Wim Wenders does American Friend. I love that movie. It's kind of existential. It's weird. Of course, there's Talented Mr. Ripley with Jude Law and what's his name?
Hold on. Excuse me for the morning. CSM2. Which one is that?
Texas. Oh no, I don't know.
Evil Dead 2.
Crosby, Stills, and Mash. I don't know.
Which movie are you talking about? Evil Dead 2 is awesome.
The best.
Okay? Hold on. But Evil Dead 3, there's a version that went on video that was not because the studio fucked up Evil Dead 3. And it's the Rip Van Winkle ending. Go seek out the third movie that has the Rip Van Winkle ending, and that's the good one.
Last year for me, the best TV show on Netflix was Ripley. and it was by the guy that wrote The Shawshank Redemption, and he directed it. The writer director, and it's black and white, and it's the British actor who played Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes things that was on BBC the last decade.
I still don't know what movie you're talking about.
Ripley, the TV show. It's 8 or 10 episodes.
No, here in the comment. I have a Sam Raimi story that happened like a few years ago. Me and my friend were driving down the street, and these people cross the street, and I go, that's Sam Raimi. And I go, hey, Sam Raimi, you're awesome. And his head turned, and we drove off. A week later, in my local grocery store, I'm standing in line to check out, and Sam Raimi's standing in front of me. So I say, hey, you're Sam Raimi. He goes, yeah. I go, do you remember last week where someone screamed at you from a car, hey, Sam Raimi, you're awesome? He goes, yeah. I go, that was me.
I'm sure it happens every day. So, I love what's the big comedy one? It's number 3 or 4.
Wait. How is CSM2 Texas Chainsaw Massacre? How is that?
Oh, he's adding Texas. If you put TC, okay.
They're 2 different movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't think Tobe Hooper is inherently funny. I dealt with him. I don't know how much of a sense of humor he has. Everything Sam Raimi does is with a tinge of humor.
Now, when I saw, my buddy and I went to see we went to see Army of Darkness in the movie theater when it came out. I had never seen the first Evil Dead movies when I saw that. I fucking loved Army of Darkness. I thought it was the funniest thing. I thought Bruce.
Well, okay, but that's Army of Darkness is the third one.
It is, but it's so funny, and it's big production. Dino De Laurentiis produced it.
Right. But the problem with the movie is Universal kind of took the movie away from him and made him cut it up.
It's hysterical.
Right, but there's a version I think Anchor Bay released with the Rip Van Winkle ending.
Yeah, I have it.
That is the better. It's like 20 minutes added to the film. Yeah. It's better.
But it's so funny, and I didn't know what to expect. And the first one's scary as hell, and the second one is, scary too.
The third one is kind of more of a comedy.
It is. It's a total comedy. But Bruce,
the thing about the second one is all the kind of techniques that Sam Raimi invented, maybe for some budgetary reasons, is genius. Yeah. The spinning camera, the kind of zooming in, and all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy good.
Bruce Campbell, to me, I fell in love with his comedy and his humor.
Well, he had a very Jim Carrey face. The scene in the second one, right, where the 2 mini versions of him fight him, that's genius.
Yeah. Well, that's also in the third one too. The mini ones, and they start kicking them. Well, it's like Gulliver's Travels.
Okay, I can tell you, I was at a very early screening, not professionally. I got to go to an advanced screening because the movie premiered at Sundance. So when the studio picked it up and started doing screenings of it, I went to it. And I can tell you, I was in a packed theater full of people, and those people were scared shitless. They were. Of that movie.
I know you have your hand on the pulse, your ear on the table, or whatever you want to call it. Of the Peter Jackson TV version of Frankenstein, is it HBO or Netflix?
Hold on, I don't think it's a miniseries. I think it's a movie, right?
A movie, but it's up.
Yeah, but it's a real movie. I have not heard anything of it, but I can't imagine. And it's not Peter Jackson; it's Guillermo del Toro.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry.
I can't imagine that it will be a bad movie. I can't, because I think his deal is, in his DNA, is he's a Universal monster movie guy. So I think the movie's got to be an homage to that. I've seen videos from his house that is littered with paraphernalia from that period and all that shit. So I have to assume he's making a Universal monster movie. That's what his attempt is to do.
Okay. Is Fluffy still watching? Fluffy asks, what did I think of people doing videos on old? I just got a press release from Kraft Norman Greenbaum's
Oh, I just got this too.
timeless hit "Spirit in the Sky" receives its first ever official music video, directed by Lawrence Harlan Jacobs.
Here, I got it.
So there's so there's a movie, a video of "Spirit in the Sky." Oh, is there a movie coming too?
I don't think it.
He's probably made his life on that song in terms of the, making so much money off it.
Yeah, because the other stuff he recorded is not like that song.
Well, that album is actually pretty good. Kraft just reissued
it.
Reissued it.
Hey, I get those. Now I'm on that relationship with Kraft. I get those emails, those publicity emails.
Yeah, you get so many of them from different companies. The ones you get from a bunch of them, it's
the guy who manages the releases for Kraft. He's a good dude. That dude is good.
Yeah.
Because he was lucky. He luckily made a song that connected. He was lucky. He wrote one song.
It has a great riff. It also connected big time with religious fanatics. So no offense, but the Jesus people love it.
It's not hard to find an original of that album, but was it so popular? I haven't really looked at how the quality condition they're in.
Yeah, you don't.
That was a huge selling album, no?
Yeah, it was. I have it, but I don't even have. Yeah.
You know what? That's almost a seminal song, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been
that
used.
Time period.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of timeless, and it's just kind of a great riff, and it's a little psychedelic, a little rock and roll, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah. Which one's the fourth kind, Barry? You know what? Let me think about this, Rix. No one knew a guy named Norman Greenbaum was Jewish. No one knew this.
Greenbaum.
No one was able to decipher.
But Rix, remember,
Greenbaum. If you held a gun to my head and asked me to come up with the most Jewish last name ever, it might be Greenbaum.
And think of it, the Jews invented Jesus. He was a Jew. So we accept Jesus as this guy, this carpenter, this teacher, this rabbi, this guy. We just don't accept the Son of God part of it. We believe he existed. We embrace him.
Am I breaking up this Jew fest or what?
No.
I like your Jesus. I like your Jesus. It's your Christians I'm not so sure about.
So you guys have spent all this time talking about movies, and Mazzy finally got one of his in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hasn't even mentioned it. So
what are we talking about?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees came out today, and Warren Zevon finally.
I didn't see.
Yeah.
Well, see, breaking news. Read it off, Patrick. Tell us.
Let's see. There's here we go. We have Bad Company. How fitting now that Mick Ralph's done.
You're a little quiet, Patrick. Is there any way you can boost your volume?
I'm gonna go right away and hang up and make a breaking video on Warren Zevon.
Let me see if I can find it.
On. Let me see if I can get louder.
Oh, I got to record a video for this. This is breaking news. Thank you, Patrick.
Good stuff, huh? So hang on. I don't know if I can get any louder. Let me see.
It's about fucking time, Warren Zevon. Now we need Reissue.
That's about as loud as I can get, I think. I don't.
You sound fine.
This thing. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll try in a minute. So we got Bad Company, Chubby Checker, finally. This is probably the first year that I haven't really had a problem with any of these except for one. Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper. I mean, Outkast. I mean, I can't. Soundgarden, and the one that I have a question about, the White Stripes. So, and then you have.
But actually, I think that's a pretty good list this time.
Yeah, I said other than one. So the musical influence award, we have Salt and Pepper and Warren Zevon. Warren Zevon gets in the musical influence category. Then
is that the only thing he got in, musical influence?
Well, that's how they kind of backdoor some people that don't get the
vote. That's bullshit. That's like when they give someone an honorary because they didn't.
Didn't that bass player from the Wrecking Crew refuse?
Well, hang on. Yeah,
what's her name?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
She
musical excellence,
refused.
the musical excellence award, we have Tom Bell, Nicky Hopkins, well deserved, and Carol Kay. Carol Kay said that she did not want to. I think she said basically because I want everybody in the Wrecking Crew to be recognized, not just me. I think that's what
Right.
basically in a nutshell what she said.
Yeah,
And
but
then
some of the other people have already been included, and
Yeah,
she
I
got
know.
all pissy about. Well, we weren't even called the Wrecking Crew. That's true.
Yeah.
They they recall that after the fact. But so what?
So Lenny Warnocker gets the Ahmet Erdogan Award, and that's
Okay.
what they have. So I don't have a problem with this list, honestly, and I usually have a problem with the list. So I mean, I don't really have a big. I think they did
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good list.
You know,
Yeah.
and regardless of who gets in and what you believe in it, generally those shows that they record the thing are pretty good.
Yeah.
They're pretty good musically.
Well, Paul Rogers and Simon Kirk will play, and for sure. And I don't know who else will. Who else? So the White Stripes, do they even talk anymore? Are they even friends? And Meg White,
I don't even know if the girl.
does she?
I think
She didn't
I
come out in
heard
public.
he has her locked away in a.
No,
garage
no,
somewhere.
they didn't have a really falling out. I mean, she just got she
She's
had a nervous
She's a
thing,
recluse,
reckless.
isn't
Yeah,
she?
but of course they're close. I don't know if she'll show up for that, but she just couldn't do the music thing. But I think she's very well taken care of one way or another. You know,
She's kind of a recluse, though, right?
yeah.
Definitely a recluse. And so, I mean, Chubby Checker, I mean, people have been talking about that. I mean, for me, like Chubby Checker had one song. Every other album after that says Chubby Checker twists again, doing the twist on Saturday, doing the twist on Wednesday, twisting on Thursday. Every album had twist in it. So it's like,
Well, kind of like, except didn't Chuck Berry write 3 songs 100 times or something?
so is Joe Cocker still alive?
No,
No,
Okay,
I don't
so
think
I
so.
don't know.
But Chubby
So who-
Checker's still alive, right?
I don't know.
Who do you think will-
Joe Cocker deserves to be in it.
Who do you
for
think
sure.
will sing the Joe Cocker stuff?
John Belushi. Oh, he's dead too.
Cindy Lauper.
Oh,
will
I
play.
know who. Jack Black would do a good Joe Cocker.
Cindy
Not
Lauper
to
will
emulate
play.
him. but-
So I guess the big reunion they're probably hoping for is Outkast. So they probably hope that Outkast will reunite and play.
Okay.
And then Soundgarden can't reunite. I don't know if they'll do something with Chris Cornell's daughter or
Well, the king of grunge says that they will be performing.
Well, who's going to be singing? Will it be the daughter, or who's going to?
They could get Eddie Murphy
Eddie
or
Vedder. Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder.
You could do a mini Temple of the Dog.
They get Eddie Murphy playing Eddie Vedder singing Soundgarden.
And the White Stripes, they won't reunite. Jack Black will play, but Meg White won't.
Okay, going back to the movie and music, I did turn it on for about 20 minutes last night because it's free on one of the Macs or whatever. The Minecraft movie.
Oh, come
It's
on!
terrible.
How is that?
It's
Hold
terrible.
on. No, here's how you should watch the Minecraft movie.
With the sound off of the gummy.
No, hold on. The director is the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite. There's so much Napoleon Dynamite in Minecraft.
Right,
It's not even funny.
I guess I'll finish
Oh,
it, but I just thought it was terrible.
I
It's
actually
not that bad.
started watching the Anita Pallenberg movie, Catching Fire.
Where's that on? What is that?
That's on Hulu. It's got if you like old footage of like Rolling Stones and shit like that, there is so much stuff, and that's all this thing is. I only watched the first hour of it. That's all it is like old footage of Anita Pallenberg, Keith Richards, Mick Jagger, Brian Jones. I mean, just behind stuff at Chateau when they're doing Exile on Main Street. That's where I cut it off. But I mean, I can't believe all the stuff they have. It's like really, really incredible. So
You
it's
wanna
kind of
see
like
a
the
good-
Little Canyon one they had with all the footage times
Yeah.
10.
You want to see a
That's
good
good to know.
movie? You want to see a good movie? It's on Hulu. Is that Predator animated movie? That movie is good. Go watch that movie. Barry, have you seen the Predator animated movie? It's good.
I am
You
not
know, it's
watching
actually-
Minecraft. I can tell you that.
You talk about animated movie that's pretty good. Have you seen the animated? I think it's on HBO Max too. Is the Russian communist Superman version? It's like
What?
this alternate Russia creates their version of Superman.
Well, hold on. You
Better
sure
can't
it's
hit the
you
nose.
sure it's not Iran or India.
No,
India
it's
made a
Russia.
lot of rip-off superhero movies.
No, it's a brand new thing. It's an American-made film, but it's about the Russian. I guess it's a graphic novel of the Soviet.
Jim's so bored he's alphabetizing his records. So yeah.
No,
the
that's the
Soviet
area.
Superman animation.
That's his sacrifice table. Like
It's
he's
called Red.
sacrificing.
It's called Red Sun.
Oh, Superman Red Sun. No,
It's
That's
good.
a
It's
good
good. I mean, it's kind of that like Soviet communist type of animation.
Now Miles Kennedy could hit the notes, but there's no way Eddie Vedder can hit the notes. No way Eddie Vedder can hit Soundgarden notes.
It's totally propaganda. It's great.
Is Jim on a pitch count as far as talking goes, or what?
I just did all the mailing for the next issue. I just labels, all the free shit and all the paid subscriptions.
Did you put in a Mac Davis album to some lucky subscriber?
No, but I got fucked up because I couldn't get Harry to the house. If I could have gotten Harry to my house,
you would have slid one in.
Yeah.
So I was looking on Facebook Marketplace where I'm at, and someone had a pile of records, and prominently right in the middle where there was that fucking Mac Davis record. Now I'm going to be seeing it everywhere. So
nice. Yeah, you can't. You can't unsee it.
Have you played it on your live streams yet, Patrick?
No, I still have it though. I still have it.
Patrick, did you rip those records I sent you yet?
No, not yet. I have like 1,000 other things to rip, but it's right over here. I can see it. I can see them. So
you're gonna put Warren Zevon on the next cover, Jim?
No, I would put Warren Zevon on the cover, but I don't have any interest in doing that.
You should put Bad Company on the cover. You should put Bad Company /Free on the cover. Free should be in before
is Zappa the only person with a Z you'll put on the cover? You won't put any other Z's?
What about ZZ Top?
No zombies?
ZZ Top?
Here's the cover.
Let's see. Yeah.
Hold on, let me make you big.
You must have prepared that pretty quick. Did you get clearance for that photo?
They gave it to us. Universal gave us all this shit. We got from Universal and from Henry Diltz. So
do you know Henry Diltz?
I do.
Really? Next time I come, can we hang out?
No.
Why not?
He's a nice guy, though. He's such a cool dude. So
what
anyway,
are you saying? I'm not good enough for Henry Diltz? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not good enough to bring someone over to see Henry Diltz. I don't even know.
Breaking news. The MoFi announced this record, the Rick James record.
Oh boy.
Well, they're doing more interesting things, I tell you.
It's a good record.
Yeah, it is good.
But it's not hard to find.
Is that a 33?
It is
I hope.
It is 45 RPM.
No, I won't get it. I won't buy 45s anymore.
Did you hear that, MoFi?
I won't. I mean, not just MoFi, unless it's also like some record I have to have or I love.
The only way Mazzy will talk about it is if you send it to him for free.
What did Patrick say? You were interrupting.
I could see it. Someone said Miley Cyrus doing Soundgarden. She's done that before. She did. I think she did "Say Hello to Heaven."
Well, they correct me if I'm wrong, but if anyone watched that Saturday Night Live concert for their 50th, which was excellent, that dude who sang with Nirvana, what's his name? That was pretty good.
Dude that sang with Nirvana.
So they could find someone to sing with Soundgarden.
Who sang for Nirvana?
Post Malone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Hard is 40. I think the MoFi Hard is also 45. That's why I wouldn't get that either. It's too bad because that's a good flowing album. And cutting it up, I just don't. Doesn't work for me personally.
MoFi will take that portable DSD machine anywhere. Apparently, they'll go to anywhere, grab the tape, put it on DSD, and then put it on vinyl for you.
All right, Matt. Patrick, tell me about this because I picked this up.
Does it have like a blackened? Yeah, it's a
reissue.
No.
Yeah, no, but here's the reason I picked it up. But I
hear your fucking flashlight and let's see through it.
No, this was half speed mastered by MoFi.
Yeah, I remember those. not great. I mean, there are better pressings, but I mean, anything Metallica will sell. So.
If anyone is interested in this, let me know. It has this nice little insert with the lyrics.
Yeah.
Is that a Walmart special?
No. This is from 2008, I think.
Oh, didn't Walmart do
Yeah.
all the Metallica?
They also did a unpublished And Justice for All that MoFi did.
2008.
Yeah, those are kind of funny how they did those. It doesn't. It's not actually branded Mobile Fidelity.
Bill K, reach out to me separately. I don't want to mix business with politics.
No politics.
Is Harry on the road? He didn't.
Yeah,
Stop by. He didn't give me a call and stop
the
by
ma-
or anything, man.
The Marty Stewart's the only place. I mean, first of all, I love that record. The only way you could get it is 45. So that's unfortunate, but it's really good. Yeah, that instrumental Marty Stewart and the superlatives is excellent.
Yeah, I saw a video of them.
Hey, Concert Buddy, what's the topic tonight, Concert Buddy?
The topic is he's not going to have a stream. That's the topic.
He's not?
No. At least that's what I saw.
Oh, I thought he did.
I thought he was taking time off. Are you doing a stream tonight, Chance? Because at 5 o'clock Pacific, me and Grant's Rock Warehouse are doing a stream.
Okay. Hey, Dave, I did not order or get a free copy of The Grateful Dead. I did not order the box, and I did not ask or try to get a free copy.
Well, hey, I was talking to Atomic, Jim, and they said that they bought a copy of this from someone.
What?
Already? I mean,
this came Grateful. Yeah, someone came in and sold this 60 CD set.
Well, that's weird. You just bought it and you just turned. Maybe you probably ripped it. I bet you someone bought it.
Maybe got it as a promo. You never know.
But some guys will buy it and rip them, and then try to sell them.
Aren't all of the stuff available digitally anyway?
How long
Not
would it take
everything.
you to listen to 60 CDs of the Grateful Dead?
Have you met a Deadhead?
Yeah, I get it. I understand it. I am. You know what? I'm excited about it. I wasn't at first, and I've been listening to parts of it and reading about it. And this Springsteen box is pretty fucking great. This 7 albums that have been released, some of it is excellent. And,
well, how do you have access to it?
Oh, I haven't heard it all. I mean, some people are hearing the audio stream of it. A few people got the record this week or the CDs. It comes out Friday.
It's coming out as a CD box or a vinyl box?
It's both, and it's expensive for a CD box. It's like, okay, it's what, $300 for CDs, $350 for vinyl. But the vinyl is massive. They're all gatefolds. There's a book in it, a slipcase, beautifully designed. So I'm a Springsteen fan, but
did Steve Wolfman reach out to you, Mazzy?
Yes, but I can't do it tonight.
Okay, I told him to ask you. So.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He asked me sometimes, but I have my guests who came last week are on the way back from Canada, staying tonight. We're hanging out. So
I had no desire to talk about the 87 Sgt. Pepper CD. So
is that what the subject is? I don't even know what the subject was.
Pretty much, yeah.
The 87 Sgt. Pepper CD. Why is that a?
Hold on.
That's what
Jack bought it. Jack bought. Hey, Jack.
Jack's a deadhead.
When you get it and listen
it's
to
out.
it,
He probably has it already.
Do you have it yet?
It's out. It's been out for a couple weeks.
Oh, so
people got it already. People got it already. Yeah, what's going to happen is not everyone is sold out, Ivan. It's a few places still have. The Springsteen vinyl box will sell out because all these labels on these big sets, they're only they're not pressing as many as they did pandemic and before that. They're being more conservative, which is a good thing. They don't want boxes lying around. So it's the kind of thing, if you like any artist and it's a big box set, you're better to get it sooner than later, probably exceptions, but it's going to sell out, the Springsteen, because all the reviews, the people have had it so far, even Pitchfork and Rolling Stone and the New York Times. Excellent reviews.
What do you mean? Even Rolling Stone? Rolling Stone's been on Bruce Springsteen's jock since
Yeah,
day
I know.
one.
Well, that's what I meant. I mean,
It's like,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I would expect a glowing review from Rolling Stone. Anyway, how many discs is that thing?
It's 7 albums and 8 discs in a book. I
Anybody
think.
know what this record is? Jim, you're old. You're old. So.
Hold on,
What
let me
record?
make-
Fear
That's a
itself.
weird. That's a weird cover.
Yeah.
No.
Is she naked on the left there?
I don't know. That's they do a cover of The Letter. So. Produced by Tom Wilson, Ellen McElwain, Chris
Tom Wilson.
Zaloom,
Zappa, Dylan connection.
Album, Bill, I don't know who the fuck these people. They're on
Velvet
Dot
Underground.
Records. I have no idea what this is like.
Hey, Patrick, Barry's asking about this Deep Purple Steven Wilson mix. Do you know about this?
Upcoming Deep Purple, made in Japan.
Have you heard it?
So if it's upcoming, how do you know it's the best?
Yeah, it's not out yet. It's not, did you get an advance copy? It's not out yet.
You know, I think remixes as a novelty. Personally, I've heard some that sound great, but I mean, to me,
although I finally got that Chicago 2 that he remixed, and it's much better than the original.
The problem I have with it is that he just takes a 2496 file. He doesn't. I mean, it's not. It doesn't sound as good as it could. Put it that way. That's just me being an analogist, but yeah. And the Pajitro Toll stuff is interesting, but it's nothing that I would go. The Pink Floyd stuff that I've heard was interesting.
He didn't do the Pink. Oh yes, he did. He did. He did the Pompeii, which is great.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about remixes in general.
Got it.
Well, I don't know about that, Jim. Hold on. Someone has to chime in. Let's see what this guy has to say.
I got sent to unbox. I was actually sent a box of Grateful Dead.
Huh?
Wow. Colored vinyl? Wow. Stephen Schnee is now into vinyl, people. Read it.
Wait.
Read it here first.
Are you joking, Schnee, that you were sent a box of 20 copies of Grateful Dead hits? Hey, wait, Schnee. There was another announcement. This B-52 box. Is anyone here? This B-52 box?
It's a CD
box. Did they send you a box of LPs for the B-52s? Let me know. I'd be interested.
It's a CD box. It's not a vinyl box.
Yvonne, you want me to send this to you, Yvonne? This breakdance record? I know you're a big.
Hey, Stephen Schnee, why don't you invite Wax for another sleepover, and you can go through it and do an auction at your place, just Grateful Dead only auction.
Hey, by the way, this is Mazzy's fan fiction. Mazzy writes fan fiction. Schnee, come up and show it, and maybe people will buy those from you.
You know, you're
selling promos.
You know, you're a big guy when you can just be called Schnee. One word, one word only.
Hold on, it is in vinyl too. The B-52 box.
Oh, I didn't know it was in vinyl.
So okay. Rhino's putting out all the B-52, Warner, and were there reprise? I don't know. There's a box and CD of other.
Weren't they Sire? They were Sire, I think.
They were
Sire and Warner's. Sire and Warner's.
Same thing, yeah.
It's gonna be hard to beat that first album with the custom label.
I have the original, so I'm not going to get that. I'm not buying boxes again if I have the original.
But they've been pressing 2 of their records consistently over.
That's good that they put a box out. I think it's good they put a box out. I
have the DCC of Made in Japan. So when said I'll listen to it, but I have the DCC, which to me is the best I've ever heard it sound. Better than the UK, better than the German, better than anything.
Look, I'm gonna I don't do unboxing, so I'm gonna do an unboxed, basically coming up.
Hey, can you do a video where you box yourself up?
But it's going to be after it's out of the box and just present the record and the covers, but not all that.
Jim, not if you're okay, Jim. Not if
I had people that cut it open, pull it out, bring the foam out, all that shit. You know,
just making sure my QR code works.
When Jim's not talking, he's watching porn.
He's panel camping.
I am. I'm working.
Yes, I am. Dana. Dana, are you familiar with that Fear Itself? Okay.
When's there gonna be a Dead Kennedys box?
A DK? Plus, I don't give a shit about those
dead Kennedys in a box. Are you kidding? There's lots of dead Kennedys in a box.
Oh,
There's
Best
one in
joke of the day.
particular that Mazzy would like in a box.
I don't talk about wishing ill will on the living. I just made a joke about the dead. I did not
Right.
go there.
That's very funny. I like that.
Well, I just got an email that we're having an Independence Day drone show in my end of the valley. So that's we got that going for us.
Intel had one of those a couple years ago. It was actually pretty cool. I mean, it was actually pretty how they just synchronized and like it was
Yeah,
kind of like
it's
watching
awesome.
watching a synchronized light show with drones. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but now
Hey,
it's all they all have the ICE logo on them. That's the problem
Oh
now.
God!
Hey,
Dave, come
Patrick, I think Kimbo wants to buy that record from you.
What was the?
Send me an email, Kimbo.
Some guy was in a Jack in the Box drive-through yesterday, and he wanted more ice in his drink, and they're like, "What?" He's like, "Ice, ice." And next thing you know, everyone's running out the back door.
Hey, look, I'm not. This is something I've noticed. One particular car wash is closed. Like,
oh yeah,
closed. That's a direct ice effect, I think.
I got a guy painting my house right now. I want to put up like a.
Hey, I'm trying, Herkimer, but I can't highlight comments. So I tried to include.
Hold on. Hey, dude, go watch the stream. I've been clicking on comments left and right. Just say something interesting. Hold on.
Only you,
Kirk,
Herkimer.
you are the master of commenting uninterestingly. So this is the most interesting you've been.
Interestingly, is that even a word?
You got to send Herc and Rick some free records.
Try typing in something that's worth highlighting, because I've been doing it like crazy.
Can we talk about the lack of taco trucks in Jim's neighborhood?
Yeah, they're gone now. Seriously.
Can we discuss the lack of good tacos near Jim's house? That's
Eddie, this is a good topic. When I was a little kid, I think Jack in the Box was nationwide. And around 1979, they moved off the East Coast. I think over the years, they've been, I think they're in Florida, but I think I just heard they opened up a location somewhere in the Northeast.
They don't have it. It's not nationwide.
It used to be in the 70s, they were nationwide. Remember when Rodney Allen Rippey became famous? He was the spokesperson for Jack in the Box, and that was nationwide.
A jumbo jack from Jack in the Box.
Yeah, Rodney Allen Rippey.
That guy was annoying.
Okay, so
it was him and Mason Reese. Those were the two kids on TV.
Were annoying as fuck.
Back in the
that and the Oliver kid, little kid who was Oliver on the Brady Bunch.
He's friends with Stephen Snee.
Back in the late 1990s, one of my photographers did a big campaign for Jack in the Box. And he took this picture and got this autographed and signed for me. So I have an autograph. I'm replacing Dr. Roberts now.
Oh, that you know, the guy who does it, Mazzy, is the head of the agency.
Yeah, I was at the shoot. This was in Southern California.
Does he have a mic inside of the head?
Well, they do overdubs of, they loop it obviously later. But
yeah, but that's what's funny about it. That became hugely popular, and the guy inside the head who does the voice in him, he's the head of the ad agency.
But I cherish this. It's right next to my Jerry Mathers autograph copy.
Here's what I know about Jack in the Box. So Jack in the Box has fallen on hard times. A few years ago, they were trying to capitalize on the legal marijuana craze by marketing to people to
commercials.
Yeah. Marketing to people when they get high to come late at night to eat the shitty food. But they've had to close. They own Del Taco, which I think is the better between Taco Bell, and they've had to close down so many locations because they're not doing well.
Remind me, which is the stupid one, Jack in the Box or Wendy's? The stupidest thing was a square hamburger. Which one was it?
It's Wendy's, but that was his deal to make him different. He made himself terrible. Different.
I don't think it's overrated. I happen to love it. I love In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger is not overrated.
Hold on. You've dealt with marketing. One of the smartest marketing things was we don't cut corners at Wendy's.
I don't
Come on.
remember that. See, that's the thing.
See, even people, even this guy knows. Don't cut
Yeah,
corners.
that's dumb. That's dumb. I don't like it. I
You're
don't think
hey,
In-N-Out
Herc,
Burger. In-N-Out Burgers is not overrated. I'll say
Herc,
it.
I'm not highlighting your comment because you're genius at
In-N-Out
this.
Burger has the worst fries ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
In-N-Out's fries are shit. Listen,
They're
Herc,
horrible.
They're
this
fresh.
goes along the lines of why you don't make good comments. Taco Bell is diarrhea food. Del Taco is better. They make a lot of their
Del
food
Taco
fresh.
has good fries. They have like crinkle cut fries at Del Taco.
Yeah, at Del Taco. Del Taco is worlds better than Taco Bell. Worlds.
Yes. Taco Bell. People in Milwaukee think.
Why is it
Taco
called
Bell is
Del
Mexican
Taco
food.
instead of like Enrique Taco or Juan Taco or
Yeah,
something?
Mazzy,
They're not using that as a name, Mazzy. It's not meant to be as a name.
you're slowly going to the league of Herc with bad comments. I'm telling you right now, Del Taco, world's better than Taco Bell. Taco Bell, bags.
Taco Bell just has the marketing. Look, I'm actually paying $2 for this fucking download so I can listen to this song.
The thing about what's great about In-N-Out Burger, there's no marketing. I mean, there's no.
My first digital purchase ever.
Well,
it's all word of mouth.
You're very close to being banned from the stream, Tom.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to ban me too. I'm with Tom
actually,
on that one.
I agree with Tom, except they could be crispier. But I will.
What?
I like them.
Fries are horrendous.
They're not out of a frozen bag. Everybody else is out of a frozen bag.
Here's where In-N-Out mastered the way things are now in the fast food game. They are the ones who invented the top secret menu. Okay, They invented it. A lot of the most popular items on In-N-Out's menu are secret menu items.
Right.
So Mazzy, next time you go there, you tell them to extra cook your fries. They do that. You have to ask them to do it.
Right. I like them because they're not a big marketed company. It's all word of mouth and direct type things. They don't do TV advertising.
Hey, don't get on my bad side, Matthew Petty.
I got to install a fucking app to download.
Jack in the Box is where it's at, folks.
Secret menu, request. And actually, here's a way that In-N-Out's fries are good. Get them animal style. That makes them good.
But then you get all that shit on it.
Well, that's how it's good.
Okay.
All right, Deep Purple, Highway Star Live. Man, really?
I have to contact Chris Carson, Dominic Galaglio, Chris Humiston, Scott.
No one should be eating fast food, by the way, especially me. No one. But I will tell you, the Del Taco chicken soft taco is good. I'm okay with eating that. Well, I'm sorry for you.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Come on, dude.
In-N-Out Burger pays their employees better than anyone else. They treat their employees well, their customers well.
If I could go back in time, I really would consider becoming a general manager for In-N-Out.
If I could share this real quick.
That's a 6-figure job.
Yeah.
But you are working your ass off. You're working all the time.
Well, good. Working, have you noticed too, there's a lot of it's funny, there's more young people working at In-N-Outs than all the other fast foods. Now, a lot of the other fast foods these days, at least around here, are immigrants working there rather than, remember when the fast food used to be like teenagers out of high school and stuff like that. And In-N-Out has a lot of young people, more than I'd say the other. But I don't go to other fast foods. I don't know. Here, actually, we have Dick's Burgers out here, which is actually pretty good.
I think when I went to Dick's for the first time, it's what I remember a McDonald's hamburger tasting like in the 70s.
Yes. Before they got all.
So can you show this real quick? Is that
okay.
All right. So Dr. Winston O'Boogie, this is your Highway Star Made in Japan Steven Wilson remix that you told me was the best ever. Look at how that thing is brick walled. Look at that. There's no dynamic range whatsoever.
Is that a Jackson Pollock painting? What is that?
So
Actually, this is from Jim's blood sample that came back.
yeah.
What is
You
that?
know, okay,
This
here's
is what
the worst
Steven
thing
Wilson
about.
remix looks like. So.
I did go
This is
in
what-
one
what?
McDonald's. In one McDonald's in the last 2 years when I was driving down somewhere, and you can't even order from a person anymore. It's all touchboard ordering. That's bullshit.
Well, you get hold
You're so
on.
fucking old, Mazzy. You're so old.
Go.
No,
hey,
but I want to
Chance-
talk to the person.
Chance, go look up what a In-N-Out GM makes a year. Your mouth will hit the ground.
Oh my God, my ears after 5 seconds, my ears are going, what are you doing to me? Yeah, that thing is fucking sounds like shit.
What
I'm
was
sorry,
that again?
Barry.
That
You're
was
a
the-
nice
that was the
guy.
Steven
You're a
Wilson
nice.
remix.
You're a nice,
Oh.
thoughtful fellow. But Patrick's letting you have it.
Who's that, Winston? I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not mad. I'm just saying. I paid $2, and first time I've ever paid for a digital download in my life, which is probably I owe a lot because I put out so much. But I mean, but I paid for it. I loaded it up, and I'm looking at it. I listened to it. I'm like going, man, this sounds really bad right off the bat. It hurt my ears, and now I don't.
Is it
want
a high res download?
Hold on. And
yeah,
I think
24-bit,
that
96 kilohertz.
Patrick's too nice to say this, Barry, but he put that sound sample through his gizmos, and I actually believe it gives you gingivitis too.
I could have run a 17 kilohertz filter, 17 hertz filter, and I could have made it look better. But
Now he's
That's the-
questioning your source for downloading, Patrick.
it was
Here.
an official download. I bought it from Pro Studio Masters, whatever the fuck that is. So
I've never heard of that place.
I don't know.
Where did you
Okay.
download it, Patrick?
It's called ProStudioMasters.com.
Oh,
That's like the highest res you can get.
Yeah, it was 24-bit, 96K.
Is it
What are
like
you on a
Qubit?
T? Are you on a T1 line? Is that
No,
how
I
are
have
you
like
getting
three-
things fast?
Oh, a T1 line's only like 1 megabit per second.
Well, I don't
I got
know.
like 300 megs. So
Okay, he got his from Tidal.
yeah, I got mine from Pro. I got the actual FLAC file. So yeah, I didn't stream it. I downloaded an actual FLAC file. It wasn't streamed, so no streaming involved, nothing.
Uh-oh, he's challenging that you have different ones. Show us your dynamic range, Barry.
Yeah, load up your dynamic range. Let's see what it looks like. I'm
I
just,
hate- I'm sorry. I
just
hate
saying
when
what I
people in the
saw.
forums show these pictures and start doing all DR numbers and all that shit. I just
I don't do DR numbers ever, but I mean, I can look at a WAV file and go, okay, that is pressed to shit. But I've never done a DR bullshit ever, never. I don't like
it's,
that shit.
they're not all
That-
equal. I mean,
That can be
some,
manipulated. So,
some music can sound better compressed and some not.
well, the Beatles are compressed as shit. So, the early Beatles.
The capital ones are.
No, the UK ones are. Go listen to Please Please Me. It's just this round blob of sound. They compress the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But not to the point where it was in the red. So that's just it. So you still have Shin files. You had Shin files. You had Monkey's Audio, which were APE files. You had all sorts of different kinds of technology and files. So
Hey, don't cause trouble, Jeff E.
God, that's disgusting.
What? What's
I'm
what?
Just
Yeah,
that
I
whole
mean-
Patrick shit in your mouth. It's like, oh God, I can't get that picture out of my head.
Listen,
Oh.
here's the thing about Barry, from what I understand. Very thoughtful, very passionate. He knows what he likes what he knows.
I mean,
he's a big
I
deal
saw the
guy.
article from the guy from Now Spinning Magazine, but I mean, I would assume that the 2496 FLAC file would be better than something over YouTube. At least that's what I hear constantly whenever I play music on YouTube. Is that it can't quite possibly be that good because it's on YouTube. So spinning that around.
All right, Herc's trying to come back in with a comment that we'll all get around.
DR reduction doesn't necessarily mean less detail. Yeah.
Oh, that's it, Herc. Done.
And it depends on the
DR
music on the song.
DR numbers can be manipulated though if you really want to.
Wait, no, I mean, Herc's in now. That was a good comment.
Well, according to you, you haven't even been paying attention the whole fucking day. So what the hell do you know?
That's true. This is so. I'm not into vampire fucking movies or
Hey.
What was it? Zombie.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I wasn't into the whole like movie talk, but that's okay. Mazzy and Rob are into movies.
Yeah, I let them go. They know.
I'm into all sorts of things.
Yeah, we
There's
both
no
are.
chance of- So Rob, I have a question. How come people were so freaked out that I was like bidding on stuff at your auction? It was like this whole controversy.
Yeah,
I'm like going, dude.
Here's the way I took it. It was done in a humorous thing, Patrick.
It's because you're a star.
Here's the difference. There are two types of people in all of this that connect in this nonsense we're in. There are people that are well liked and people who are not well liked. You are well liked. So when people made those comments, I thought they were trying to be funny.
Oh, I
Was
like,
Patrick winning Was Patrick winning everything?
I wasn't lowballing anybody. I mean, I was actually putting out decent.
Is it like when Mike won all those OJCs, half the OJCs on mine? People got pissed off, and he was just bidding like everyone else.
My microphone situation is bad, Eddie. So I don't know how to fix it. So
hey, how come you don't like invite? It's probably early, but Mike Ingroove on your show, Waxed.
He knows he's welcome. I think he's generally sleeping. Mike, if you're watching right now, let Mazzy know that you either hate me or like me. That's really what he's
We
getting.
always watch his Thursday morning new releases before we get on here. I've watched it.
Hey, we're going to get the guy from the Vinyl Con on. Maybe
When?
next month. Next month. It's too soon.
Okay.
He'll come up next month, closer to the show. Maybe we'll get him in July and August. Isn't it late August, the show?
It's my birthday weekend, so yeah.
Oh my God. Are you coming down for it?
I don't know.
We're going to bring you down on a leader with men holding you up on a thing. Duh. Oh, would that be exciting?
All right.
It's my birthday weekend too, schmuck. I was born 4 days after you.
Virgos.
Okay, so the place that I got the music from, Pro Studio Masters, Sony actually uses them for distribution, so it's legit. So it's not some fly by night that somebody did that and increase the fucking the compression level.
Hey, I never make a pitch for subs, but if you haven't subbed yet, sub.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's the review. Pro Studio Masters has my highest recommendation for a high-resolution digital music purchase site. But this isn't, like I said, it's not some flyby. This is a legit thing that I downloaded. So I mean, I don't know what to say to you, Winston O'Boogie, other than the fact that if you can send me a file that you're listening to that's different, I will gladly listen to it.
We don't. Hey, Barry, here's what I would say to Patrick right now. Patrick, from my limited knowledge of this, a lot of people highly praised Steven Wilson's Jethro Tull album.
But I have those. They don't look
Okay,
like that.
so this is what I'm asking you. In your comparison of Aqualung, because that's the one I heard, out of all the Steven Wilson reissues, in my mind, his version of Aqualung is very well respected. So, in your comparison of all the Aqualungs you've ever heard, how would you rank Steven Wilson's mix?
Middle of the road.
Okay, Barry, there you go. He doesn't need to pick up the Live in Japan because I'm going to assume.
We all know that I have 8 versions of Aqualung at my house.
Right, and I'm going to assume that Steven Wilson's remixes of albums aren't drastically different from each other. It's not like he decided halfway through to change the way he does remastering, right?
Well,
or remixes.
When that comes out officially, the Steven Wilson remix of Made in Japan, I will gladly secure a copy that is approved by everybody who is championing this remix.
Well, you'll get,
you know,
you want to get the vinyl to hear how the vinyl sounds, right?
No,
No?
I mean, because they're not listening to vinyl; they're listening to it streaming on Tidal.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I wouldn't buy the vinyl of that. No way. Like I said, I've got the DCC and I've got UK and German, so I wouldn't. Unless somebody can give me a valid reason, and what I heard is not a valid reason for me. Unless there's something that something else out there besides what I listened to.
Hey, Rix, you're slowly coming into Herc territory with this comment. Yes,
Well,
there's
the
a
US,
billion.
the US or Canadian made in Japan should be a $10 record, but the UK mastered by George Peckham and the DCC are not $10 records.
Hey, you know what I'm going to ask Joe Harley? I'm not going to bother him with stupid ass comments. That's what I'm going to not do.
Can you ask him which Wax Time release he likes the best?
You know what I will ask him? No one around here gives a shit, but the Tone Poet of the Jackie McLean Jackknife is the cover is a horrible choice. Whoever made that decision, but I don't want to piss him off. As much as I love pissing people off, I'm not going there tonight to piss him off.
Yeah, pick your battles wisely on who you piss off.
I'm going to embarrass Waxed tonight. I will figure out a way.
I dare you to scream in that record store, "Hey Rob, they have the Mac Davis record you're looking for," because that's all Jim ever does.
I will do that in a heartbeat. Hey, they got that Barbara Streisand you were looking for.
You know what I screamed in response to Jim's
Can you ask Joe Harley
comment?
when they're going to put out Jazz from Hell? That's what you should ask him. When are they going to put out Jazz from Hell, Joe Harley?
I'm going to say, hey, Jim, they have the Dick Hyman record you're looking for.
Yeah. I at least do it in such a way that I'm not using poopy words or something.
I bet you they beat that kid up. I bet you that guy got beat up in high school, Dick Hyman.
Hey, am I wrong? Is there legit records by a guy named Dick Hyman?
There are.
All right.
Right.
And he did a lot of the scores for Woody Allen movies, actually.
My chiropractor was
He's a
sax player, trombone player for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. His name was Jerry Hyman.
Well, Jerry Hyman is better than Dick Hyman.
It is better.
And now, when he was adjusting you, Jim, did you say, "Be careful"?
I went to high school.
Here's what I used to do. I used to ask him if there were people in the waiting room. If there were, I would start to scream in agony. Ah!
I went to high school with a guy named Phil Schmuck.
Oh no! Come on, that's a lie.
No, that's totally true. The Schmuck, the guy named Philip Schmuck. Phil Schmuck is his name. Seriously.
I had my first girlfriend's name was Choo Choo Rabinowitz, and I dated her friend Fafa Lifshitz as well.
Hold on. Barry is now Spinning Magazine, a strictly UK magazine. We have an American publisher here in our midst. We don't accept UK publishing.
No. Can't stand that record collector magazine in UK. It's all glossy.
I will say this. Phyllis Hyman was hot. She was hot.
There's certain names you just change. I mean, God. Exactly.
Now, he was pretty Mazzy. Dick Hyman was kind of pretty middle of the road jazz, right?
Yeah, but he did a lot of soundtracks. He did a lot of arrangements for
but he did put out a bunch of Moog records, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
he did
definitely
experiment in the Moog world.
Yeah. No, he was known and he was successful and famous, and he did a lot of retro stuff, bringing old music and rearranging it for modern movies and things.
Now, Matthew, is this a euphemism for something?
Yeah.
To Richard Head.
Herc, normally I would label this a good comment if I didn't just make it before you typed it.
Want to see a record that's kind of boring. Harry told me to buy, and I love it. Mazzy, you know this record, don't you?
Hold on.
Yeah, I do.
God
what is
dang,
it?
It's good.
It is good, but that was one of those records that was in the cutout bin forever.
Oh
for a
yeah,
while.
this is a 2-record set in mint condition. The die cut on this shit. Look at this. Look at this. You have to. I mean, it's crazy.
Hey, now, Jim,
$5 record. The piano on this is banging. It sounds
Now-
so good.
now
The
when
guy's
you
playing
listen,
his ass off.
hey, now when you listen to that record, Jim, does it shake your bones and rattle your brain?
And hey, baby, I just love that his cousin was the preacher man.
All right, now Barry's making back up to you. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Pat, or unless he's talking to someone else.
All right. I could pretty much tell you. I just showed you the waveform of what I got from a legitimate source for music. I paid for it. All right.
That is brick wall.
I could show you the waveform of any other made in Japan that I have, and it would look completely better than that. And I usually, just visually, you could tell that thing had no dynamic range at all. You know, so I can only go by what I've heard. Like I said, if you can send me something else, that would be great. But I mean, I listened to it and it hurt my ears. I don't know what else to say. I'm not trying to come down on you at all. I'm just giving my own opinion and backed it up with something visual that you could see. If I could, maybe Friday I'll play it and then compare it to the DCC and people can make their own opinion.
Do that.
Yeah.
Killer record.
I love that album, man. I'm a massive Deep Purple fan. I was centered right at the front when their first U.S. show when they got back together, and that's the song they played was Highway Star. It's delved in my mind, you know, what that sounds like live and what it was and what that whole evening was, even though I smoked a lot of hash.
Hashishi. I saw them live. They were great. Back in the day, though, way long time ago.
You know, Waveform Talk might be on par with Dr. Roberts' medical stuff, but but no one's ever going to get physically ill from me talking about waveforms as opposed to Dr. Roberts' medical stories.
I find it hysterical that one guy is on a mission to discredit you when it comes to live in Japan. One person. And it's a guy who's so not about any of this nonsense. Listen, Barry, respect for me because this is the hill you do choose to die on. You're choosing to go down the ship
I
on
appreciate
live.
you digging in, though. I appreciate you digging in and just like fucking going ride or die for this, man. Yeah.
Barry, this would be me if I felt that Steven Wilson's mix was the best. I would say to Patrick, well, I don't care. I think it sounds excellent. And I think Patrick would go, that's good for you.
So send Rob a text if Steven Wilson is in your house right now, watching as you type this. So if you could do that, let us know if Steven Wilson is right there holding you.
Remember, there's that video out from a few years ago at a German audiophile show, a conversation with Steven Wilson and Alan Parsons, and they're both kind of mocking audiophile vinyl freaks.
I saw another Deep Purple live somewhere else where they sort of similar. The cover was kind of similar.
You know, I don't have a problem.
Wasn't it live in Japan?
I don't have a problem owning up to the fact that I want the best sounding version of records that I love. And if that's a crime to some people, that's fine. But for me, if I love a piece of music, I want the best sounding version of it. That's what I strive
That's the
for.
fun part of this hobby.
Yeah, that's
in my recollection, there's probably 10 records that I hear Patrick talk about like a lot. And Live in Japan is one of them. So if you're going to come at him with a strong take on that album, I don't feel comfortable that you might
if somebody likes the Steven Wilson version better, that's fine. That's great. That's why you have options. It's not a right or wrong thing. It's just, you know, I'm just giving my own opinion. So that's it.
Okay, I saw Deep Purple. I think it was 71, and I was almost killed.
Yeah, To be fair, you're almost killed daily.
It was a they opened one door, and it was a stampede.
Was it the Fireball tour?
It was a week later. Somebody died in Cleveland in a stampede. No one died here.
That's the Who. That's the Who.
The Who, they died in Cleveland. I was at Deep Purple a week earlier. They opened one fucking door. I couldn't believe it, man. I was moving. My feet weren't touching the ground. There was a cop next to me. The look on his face was white. He was so scared. A chick went down. Huh?
Who opened? Who opened?
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was a.
I'm forgetting. You know what? I missed the opening act. I got such shitty seats. It was horrible.
That was a Fireball tour. So did they play anything off Machine Head that hadn't been out yet? So that's interesting.
I don't even remember. I was so freaked out by the.
I'm clearing this because I said it because in one of my classes that we teach about the Cincinnati
WKRP
one.
in Cincinnati.
The Cincinnati, no, event management. We teach about the Cincinnati people were trampled.
Was it 79?
Yeah, that was a very somber WKRP episode. I remember, when they did that, I was shocked that, it was like, wow.
Yeah, it was big deal. Yeah.
Even bigger than dropping the turkeys out, I thought turkeys could fly.
I was a young lad at 14 years old at a festival in Alameda County Fairgrounds, and I saw Deep Purple in '68 of October when Hush came. It was all over the radio.
That's Ron Evans singing, and Nick Semper on bass.
That was a great 2-day fest. My friend's father took us. It was like Creedence Clearwater and Deep Purple and Lee Michaels and Loading Zone and
wearing the Nehru jackets and all that shit.
Procol Harum. I don't remember. It was like they were in the center of like this, almost like a racetrack field. You're in the stands and stuff. Everything smelled like patchouli oil and pot. But it was the first kind of rock festival I ever went to, and it was so great.
All right, we've gone past our time, and I appreciate everyone coming by. Everyone have a good evening.
It's all good, man. As long as you love the music, that's all. I don't care.
Hey, Barry, I would like you to carry this over to Friday night when Patrick does his free-for-all on Live in Japan. Every version of Live in Japan, Friday night on Patrick's stream.
Maybe we'll do it Sunday because Friday's not really the place to do comparison.
Okay.
Sunday.
Yeah, tune in Sunday. He'll do live. Smoke on the Water will be shown 20 different versions.
But there is something. I did something cool on Tuesday. I thought it was cool. I played a bunch of 45s, just me and Mark, bunch of 45s that Revs Per Minute sent me. A lot of obscure stuff. Most people I hadn't heard of them. A lot of like power pop, punk, pub rock stuff. Some cool stuff. So it's still up. And
as long as you stop playing that Super Tramp and Foreigner crap, I think.
This was all stuff you probably like, Massey. So it was all very obscure stuff.
I'm just being an asshole to you. That's
very
all.
Cool. Like I said, stuff that I like, a lot of Damned and stuff like that.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone have an excellent rest of your week.
Except for Jim.
And then Tuesday,
I got work to do, man.
Yeah. Watch Twit TV, Leo Laporte, about 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Watch Mazzy tomorrow. Leo Laporte will be excellent.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what it's going to be like.
I would love to see a knockdown, drag-out fight between you and the other guy.
Well, we're going to cross over around 12:45.
If you can get that guy that likes Made in Japan so much, Winston, I will gladly talk to him. Just have a discussion. So yeah.
Take care.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.